Welcome to Forex DayBreak, a daily podcast where we cover 8 Forex pairs and give you our view on the market direction for these pairs. If you are trading Forex market, this is the #1 show to start your trading day. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Forex DayBreak episode 3. In this daily Forex update, I will give you my view on 8 Forex pairs I analyze using Elliott Wave principle. My name is Ville Vainio and today is 11th of August 2015. Show notes for this episode can be found at forexdaybreak.com/3. Now let's get started. Yesterday we got some news from China, or shall I say during the night, that they devaluated the yuan by 1.9% and this has triggered some losses on that currency. This can have also prolonged effects on US dollar, but this is still slightly unclear. The markets have reacted some of this news, but nothing major has happened. Also, yesterday, a couple of Fed officials gave statements. Fisher and Lockhart were speaking yesterday. Fisher was slightly dovish on the rate hike on September, and Lockhart was more hawkish, insisting that the September rate hike is still on the table. I'm not so sure about that because the economic data has been weak, but this is interesting to see how they will going to react if the data is starting to show any weaknesses or is staying on this level, which is not strong. But it's interesting to see because it's the next meeting they have, and if they are really going to go with the rate hike. Okay, let's get on to the currency pairs. First up we have EURUSD, and yesterday we got upwards move on EURUSD. During the night there has been a decline. Price now is 10982. And possibly a reaction for this China devaluation news. My wave count is suggesting that this will go higher, but still unclear if this triangle has completed or if it's still forming, and we might see a couple of more legs on this triangle. I have labeled it as almost complete. I haven't labeled the latest low as the leg E yet. Key levels on EURUSD: on the downside 10923 is support level, and upside resistance 11004, and also the latest high was stopped by that resistance level, so this is quite strong level. Let's see how this day will turn out if this resistance level is broken and EURUSD will continue higher. I'm looking at this as bullish. I'm expecting more upside on EURUSD. Now let's move to dollar yen. The price now 124.62. Slight upwards move now has retraced almost all of that. This does not look impulsive. My wave count is expecting more upside. This should be minuet wave 3 raise to the upside, but doesn't look that strong actually. quite corrective looking is this latest price action. Key levels on dollar yen, the trend line connecting the recent lows I have on my 4-hour chart gives support level at 124.4 approximately, and on the upside resistance level is at 124.95. Those levels are the ones to look for in dollar yen. And if this goes down, starts declining and breaks this trend line at 124.4, this is more likely going to be an extension for the minuet wave 2 correction, and we are still forming that, because this does not look like an impulsive move to the upside. Also comparing it to the first wave, which is quite steep and strong, I would say at this point that this is more likely to be an extension for the correction. Okay, next is pound dollar, and more upside has been the result here. This is probably now the start of the next move higher. Price now is 155.6 or 155.7. Key levels on pound dollar is that support zone on the downside is around 155.5, and on the upside resistance level 156.65. Those are the levels to look for in pound dollar. I'm expecting this to continue higher. My wave count is putting the latest low as minuet wave 2, and the next should be minuet wave 3 impulsive move, 5 wave structure to the upside. So this is what I'm expecting from this pair next. Next we have euro pound. I have labeled this recent move possibly as the next impulsive decline. Price is now 0.7053, but this is possibly still minor wave 2 correction that we are seeing, possibly getting more complex, or might be even a part of a larger correction. This is quite unclear. I'm not fully satisfied on the decline from the last major high, which is at 0.7388. So the decline from this high I have labeled as minor wave 1, but this is hardly an textbook impulsive decline, so this is slightly suspect, this wave count. Key levels on euro pound, downside support level around 0.6986, and the resistance area on the upside is still this strong resistance area, which is around 0.76 to 0.79. So this large area where this pair has been moving sideways for a while. Let's see how this develops. If this continues higher, it is clear that we are still on minor wave 2 correction. If we get a strong downwards move, the wave count in euro pound might prove correct after all. Next we have euro yen. I have now labeled the triangle on euro yen as completed. Slight move beyond the trend line of the triangle, but these usually happen. There's a slight throw over past the trend line, and then the resulting decline is quite strong. If this wave count is correct on euro yen, next we should see a strong decline and it should at least be the length of the triangle from the base, so about 440 pips is the triangle width on the farthest end, so that should be one possible target on the downside as our next anticipated move from the result of this triangle. If this is correct, we will need to see, first I would like to see a decline around the level of the lowest of the low trend line, which is around 135.25. The price now is 136.89, and like before, I would like to see a decline towards the low trend line of the triangle first, around 135.25, and then below that possibly another 250 to 300 pips on the downside at least. Next is pound yen. Pound yen has continued higher and is giving a stronger signal of the continuation of the uptrend. I haven't yet labeled this latest low as completed minute wave 2 correction, but it's looking quite strong now, the upside. There is an immediate resistance level right around where we are now. The price now is 194.06, and key levels on the downside is 193.93. The immediate support zone is very near, so this might hold the decline, and pound yen should continue higher as next impulsive wave will continue and eventually break the recent midterm high at 195.855. Those should be the next targets. The recent peak at 195.23 and this 195.5. Next is Euro Canadian dollar. A slight bearish bias in here as expected. My wave count puts this recent high as intermediate wave 2, so we should see a multi-month decline. Next on this pair, the price now is 193.58, and if this wave count is correct, minute wave 2 has completed and minute wave 3 to the downside should come next. Key levels on Euro Canadian: downside support level next is 142.54, the recent minute wave A high, and on the upside resistance level 144.5, and then the high at 144.9. Those levels should hold the upside. If we get to 144.9, of course this wave count cannot survive and needs a revision, but so far so good. I'm expecting a downside next on a Euro Canadian. The bigger picture here is that I'm expecting a euro weakness on most of the pairs, so there might be something to that. Let's see how this plays out. Finally, we have US dollar Canadian dollar. Also here quite volatile moves. The news from China for devaluating the yuan has been strong for the dollar, and it's seen also in US dollar Canadian. This pair has declined strongly, and this is in line with my forecast about the minute wave 3 being over and next correction would be in force. I'm expecting this fourth wave correction to be a sideways correction, and the lows should contain near the previous fourth wave, which is around 128.65. Key levels on US dollar Canadian are next downside support on the downside is 129.4 and 131 is a support level which has held twice recently. Just this morning 131 held quite nicely, so this probably will contain the upside for now. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Visit the show notes page at ForexDayBreak.com/3 and you can leave your comments on that page. Thanks for listening and now go make some profits. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.ForexDayBreak.com, and tell your friends about us. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.